How you doing, my dudes? Welcome back. Today we have a Tesla. It's a Model S. So this time it should be pretty straightforward. I guess the Model, what is it? Model Y is also pretty straightforward. This one has slimmer doors though. This was the OG Tesla that we always like to do because it's basically just a regular car. I know it's not because it's a Tesla, but very similar to any other car with frameless doors all the way around. So we have frameless doors. We're going to be doing 15 on the front, carbon, and then 5 on all the back. No windshield on this, which it looks like they've already done something to the windshield. Not aftermarket, but Tesla does actually like to do some type of films in their glass or protection, so it looks like it's got that. This is also the P100D, so it's got 100 Ds, so that makes it pretty sweet. How much for this one? $350 for all the sides in the back on this one. Pretty straightforward. What's the Lowe's tape for? It's because they like to advertise for Lowe's. Not red, no, white. Because every Tesla that comes in here is white and black, which I actually really like. That's my favorite color scheme. The last car was red, so we have a white one now. The Lowe's tape is, we'll get to it. Just to cover things. Not so much on frameless doors, but still, there'll be a reason I use it on the door panels. How y'all doing? You guys doing good? Making money, or are you guys sitting at home because it's super cold and crappy outside and that's the season? Let's see. Where's my, having headphone problems. That's never good. Oh, because it changed. That's why. That's better. Just in my mom's front doors on her Mercedes, and the seals were crazy tight. It was hard. Mercedes can be. Whenever you do your first, like, Mercedes, BMWs, I didn't like for a long time. Audis, I still dislike to this day. Usually for that, there's gonna be a fair difference in between doing that type of stuff versus doing, you know, like a Silverado. The more expensive a car brand tends to get, the more annoying the window seals are. All right, well, let's get this all set up. Was a 40-inch tall enough for that back window? Oh, 36. 36 will still give you quarters, actually. So definitely yes. I use 36 pretty much on everything. There's like a couple of things that it doesn't work on, but basically everything. Get this fired up. You guys fired up? I hope you're fired up. Oh, this has been on. You mentioned shrinking sideways. Yeah, if you flip the roll sideways, you still shrink in that direction. So there'll be a handful of times that I do it. Not like on this back window. That would be on the Model 3, but fired up. Let's go. So let's see. So if we push this button, yes. Looks like that all works. Isn't this crazy? Watch this. No joke. Flip it upside down, and it's still straight. It's nuts. This is how much like this camera moves, just all over the place. It's a boss. It's confusing with the Model 3. I thought so. I'm glad I was right on that one. Sometimes they get too far into a tangent and they're like, no, I was talking about something else. I'm like, oh. Huge difference from my WRX to the Benz. Had to cut my patterns to not so deep. Yep. You have easy breezy on the WRX. The most annoying part of that is going to be the quarter windows. The doors are a cakewalk compared to the quarter windows on the WRX. If it's the model that I'm thinking of. Got those stupid gasket style son of a... I still hate them. Maybe not so much with the plotter. The plotter let me down this morning. I was really upset. So I had a H2 Hummer this morning. The widest windshield that I think I've ever done. Those things, they're so boxy. And then I pull it in, and it honestly doesn't look that big. But then you sit in it, and you're just like, this thing's a monster. Forgot about the Hummers. And then, I plotter cut the front doors. Oh, they were so bad. You didn't stream it? No. Because I got this one to do. Can't do both. There's like, they have a baby, and they were waiting up front, and it's one of those things where it's like I kind of planned on doing it, and then this Model S showed up, and that's where I swapped over to that one. I didn't want to make them wait any longer than they had to, although I don't know if they really would have minded anyways. They're cool. They've brought me like 3 cars. I like them a lot. I don't stream everything. I stream most things. GoPro. Yes, we're good. Okay, so Model S, what is the first thing that we have to do? First thing that we have to do is actually trip all the latches, because these are frameless doors. So let's make sure those are up. Oh, they put these in here. So as you see, this is the P100D edition, which makes it fancy. How fancy? I don't know, but it is fancier. Where'd my tool belt? Because I was doing other things, I naturally misplaced a lot of things, so. All frameless. This was one of the more enjoyable cars to get when you get Teslas. Like now they're all kind of whatever for the most part. Like there's nothing new about them, or it hasn't been in a while. But like when Tesla first was a thing, you know, obviously they only had the Model S, so it was like really straightforward. And then all of a sudden there was like the Model X with the doors and the giant windshield. Then the Model 3. And then they took a step back, but they still have the sunroof on the Model Y. And now it's nice to see just a nice, well put together S here. Very happy about that. Where'd my other knife go? Where'd anything go? Maybe it's all in this giant mess right here. Why did you latch the doors? So Mustangs, Challengers, Camaros, they all have shifty windows. So every time you open and close the door, they shift about this much up and down. So if you just open the doors and cut them, you'll have a giant gap at the bottom. Something to look out for. They do it on like VWCCs and a handful of other stuff. But it's not that many vehicles, but whenever you have frameless doors, they typically do that on all of them. Unless they're really old. By really old, I mean probably like 15 years and older. It really started to be a thing with like the new, like when Camaros got redesigned. Redesigned like, again, like 15 years ago. That's my favorite car. It's pretty cool. They, I don't know. I haven't seen a Model S in quite a while. They're pretty nice. It's definitely not my first choice, but they've made a lot of refinements, which is cool. All right, what am I thinking? What do I need to do? Glass aid was the first one. Glass aid, scrub pad. So we got a scrub pad and a squeegee. Did all that this morning. Oh, that's why that's over here. Okay. Getting my bearings. I had some people popping. Oh, I set up a sink over there finally. It's like almost done. I need to run the drain. I just realized that the hot and cold are backwards. Because I'm a smart boy. Would I be crazy if I did 35 over 5? No, not at all. That's actually not that crazy. The crazier is 5 over 5. Shave front doors. You guys love that. In all caps. See, isn't this back window so nice? Nice dot border. Same thing for the quarter windows. Nice dot border. Then you got even those little quarter windows up front. Feel like I wouldn't be able to see out of 5 over 5. You know, I thought that was crazy. And then I did that video with the super dark windshield. And you'd be surprised what you can see through. 5 over 5 looked light when you compare it to 2.5 over 2.5, and then triple 2.5. I could still see through triple 2.5 a little bit. But I've gotten a pretty broad understanding now of going super crazy dark. And honestly, a big part of it is giving your eyes time to adjust. But that being said, I'm still not going darker than 35 on somebody's windshield. I don't endorse doing any of it. It was all for fun, but at least I understand it a little bit more. And I wasn't wrong. I had this theory that, like, yeah, just like kind of letting a camera settle in or getting used to nighttime after like a bright light. You know, you turn off the light, your eyes adjust. Same thing, if you make everything super dark and give your eyes time to adjust, you can see through it. But I don't think it's safe. So don't do it. Pro Nano 50. You're gonna use Geo? Yeah, we're using C2 on this one. What's up, buddy? Hey, pal. Tri-edges, they're getting shipped out either yesterday or today. They were done Friday. So I'll get them sometime soon enough. I think they'll be in later this week or early next week. It really just depends on how shipping goes. So all 5,000 of them will be on hand. So there will be plenty to go around. Tri-edges? Yes, we're getting Detroit Tint Studio custom tri-edges. They will be in stock very soon. Oh, you dang mirrors. Where's the key? We're gonna put this guy over here. We're gonna open up these mirrors. Bum, 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 bum. Wake up. There it goes. Now it's woke. All right, we're gonna leave the key there because then the mirrors did what they do. Okay, so first things first, let's get some tape on here. So why the tape? Somebody asked earlier. It's just an extra precaution, really. trying to keep interiors nice and everything. So I'll usually just put like a sticky plastic over, but that doesn't stick to a lot of door panels because these surfaces are basically made so things don't stick to them. So rather than allow water to run down all the door panels, then I'll just do a little extra thing to keep them covered. That's all. So when we have gasket seals, we'll do a little extra with them and do them on all the sides, but since we don't really have side seals, we can't really put them there. Or my mirror going back. I heard a thing. Maybe it wasn't the mirrors. I remember Tint did the crazy giveaway, and that was amazing. Oh, yeah, with the tri-edges. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, so similar to what they had with the purple ones, actually, just a different hardness. So they have these ones that are like the purple ones with their printing on them. In white, I'm going to do that in like bright green with black lettering. So they'll be here soon enough. I'm pretty excited about them. With Squeegee for the best water extraction. I don't know. Water extraction, summertime doesn't matter. Wintertime, sure, it helps a little bit more. But I like the hybrid the best. It's a good all around. I use it for everything. Are you ever gonna switch? Why? Yeah, if I have like a catastrophic problem, or I see another film company that I feel would be better suited for this place, but I haven't come across anything. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to like Geo, and like I said, unless they have some sort of type of catastrophic problem, there'll always be a reason to recommend them. They come from a reliable source. They've been in business quite a while. They take care of their people, and I don't know, the group is just littered with positive experiences, so I never really see a reason to like switch. I don't really like feeling like I'm chilling them, so this is just, I had to use something, so it's kind of like what we settled on, and from there we partnered up a little bit more, but it's fun working with them. I think they're good company. Not really stoked about this whole blade situation. Because switching, like, you know, I understand cost. Oh, flexing. Yep, sure enough. I don't know. I don't like cheaping out on film. I don't see the reason to. Saving on film costs, really, like, you could get free film and still lose money as a business. How can I leave a 5-star review? I mean on maps, but I don't want anybody that is not an actual customer to leave a review. I don't want to just try and pad it all. You, Lexan. I don't know. There's always a lot to say about different films and brands and pricing and everything. There we go. There's another question. About something else. I always get side fingers. Yep. You got to shrink it more, just like you said. That's basically what it's telling you. So you can try and you can try and squeegee it out a little bit more evenly. But it's essentially the biggest problem is just you didn't shrink it enough. So just make sure that that's the case, like you shrunk it enough, and then press it out evenly. So when I mean that is like when I two-stage, I squeegee out the top, and then I squeegee out the bottom. But if I kind of rainbowed it all down, I'm forcing more stuff to pop up through the bottom. So just try and keep it as even as you possibly can. These things, they're too motorized. I don't think I can get a good cut here. I gotta do this like upside down. Where's my little edge here? There it is. I'm trying to get my knife in here. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Did we notch it? No, we're pretty close. Not quite there. We're gonna do it again because it didn't feel good. Can get this in. So this one's a little weird because you have the gasket right there, but you can see the edge. There we go. If you had a rear windshield crack. No. Every time I've ruined a back windshield was direct from me, but I have heard of a couple of instances where there can be like a manufacturing defect. So it's a really weird name, a really weird term. I've learned it because of the Facebook groups. It's called like a sulfite inclusion. So that's what could have happened. So you tint it, and along like one of the rear defroster lines, there was like a little, basically, thing waiting to blow up the back window. Little point where you could trace back basically and look at the pattern and see that that's what happened. That's the only thing like I could possibly think of. Everything else doesn't really make much sense. Like, it's not really just gonna sit there and blow up. Unless something like actually hit it. So that's the only thing, really. Yeah, that point's a little funny on that one. Just a little bit, though. So we're gonna, like what I like to do with most of the Teslas, because they're all frameless, I like to set them all up, cut them individually. Takes a little bit more time. You definitely double cut them if you want, but hey, we got a little time. Let's make it shine. Have you tried out the Workhorse 2? I haven't. I'm hopefully gonna get to it this week. Are there any burning questions? Because I don't use them a ton, but I still want to check it out. Been working on a class this week. What's the biggest differences? Oh, that I'm not sure of. From what I hear, it's more refined. You still have like the rollers the way that they are and everything, but I'm not quite sure. They do have some videos on their website, so you can go to Plotter Depot and they've got a clear cut like what are the differences. I just don't remember what they were. I just remember I got my Workhorse 1 and they're like, you gotta check out the Workhorse 2. I'm like, I got the Workhorse 1, bro. Which I think was a really good place to start. Oh, thanks for your videos. You're welcome. So, yeah, it's sitting over there by the door in a box. I'm going to shrink this one down just a little bit. Windshield strip first or windshield? Do the full windshield first before sun strip. You don't want... So, I had a customer, or, yeah, potential customer, asking me about this. So, he had a windshield that already had a windshield strip on it, and he wanted to do a full windshield. You can absolutely tint over a windshield strip. The only problem is that the cleaner way to do it is to pull the windshield strip and then do a full windshield over it, because you want just a solid flat piece, and then you want to put a strip on top of it so you don't see any type of seam, essentially. So the strip will come down to here, and then if I tint over the windshield strip, I'm going to have a little white line that goes right across the windshield. It's not going to be horrible. Like, it's just, the conversation was kind of funny. What's up? Huh? Oh, okay. Cool. I'll give you a call after it's done. We're also live on the channel, by the way, so that's why I'm wearing this crazy thing. You watching? Good deal. No problem. He's already got it. That's cool. You know, sometimes I forget to tell people. So if they're waiting, and then I just like, they look in the back and then I'm wearing a crazy headset. So that one's funny. But he knew. Would you believe that people come here that don't actually know that I stream? In Tesla fashion, they're a little more curved. Just don't want to overcurve it. They know. Oh, they know. Opinion on Tinstitute? I don't know much. I know they're on Instagram a lot. But I don't know much about their programs or anything. Does it stick? It kind of sticks. Kind of sticks to the Tesla. See, that's why. So, I know most of you guys know this, but for anybody that's just popping in here at this moment, that's not going to ask me in like 10 seconds. Lowe's tape, it's one of the most tacky things that actually releases from a door panel. So there isn't much that actually sticks to like door panel material across the board. So this is literally a sticky plastic. And so I put the tape here, and then the carpet shield will then stick to the tape. So they kind of work together. I wish just the plastic stuck to the door panel, but it doesn't always do that. So that's why we use both. And it's really beneficial to just use it in like gasket seals or felt seals. That's where I use it the most. But I just got in the habit of kind of dropping it into the seal. So let me see where this is at. Might have to Might have to trim this down a little bit. Because we cut it in all one big go. But looking at it, might be able to make this a little cleaner. We got this big old bend here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what that looks like. Do you ask customers if you can stream their car? No, I just do it without the car's consent. I'm waiting for a car to, maybe the Tesla. Tesla would probably be the first one. Like the car itself would probably take me to court. What? Have you tried mango sticky rice? I don't think so. Sounds good though. Never really liked mangoes until I went to the Philippines, and they have the best because they're actually fresh. Really, really sweet. All right, let's get some stuff to install this. That's one reason I'm glad that I work on cars. Like, I'm really glad that I work on cars in general, because it's like you generally get a fair amount of time to just like do your thing with it, and you're not putting a person on the spot like, hey, are you comfortable being on stream? It's just like, hey, what do you like? I'm just gonna pull the car in and do my thing. But everybody that's seen it really appreciates it. So that's nice. Fan tip. Yes. Yeah, Sun Distributing, they came over. And then when they left, I had fan tips. He told me, but this is kind of funny. Yeah, this guy. So I don't really have much of a preference between the two. I've never used a fan tip for very long, but now I've been using them for a little while. And so the main advantage of the fan tip is just so you can do this, like, and then the whole window is coated. What I like about the cone tip is that it's adjustable, so you can do a mist, or you can be a little bit more direct with it. So I can't do that with this, but for most things, you're only going to be misting them. There's only a handful of times where you really want to do something different. But so I'd like the option of having one on one side and maybe one on the other, but if you ask like, hey, pick one, I'm probably going to go with the cone tip, but know that you're doing a lot more overlapping sprays with it. It's just little differences. It's nothing major, nothing crazy, just little differences there. I didn't even check out the seals so much. I just assumed. I think I gotta tuck this thing pretty far down, so we'll see how this goes. Oh no! Oh, ha! We almost lost it. That would have been really bad. That would have been real bad. Going from, like, when everything's kind of colder and a little bit wet, that's where this can get a little dicey. So you're trying to just balance the film at this particular spot. I don't ever like grabbing the edge, because then you get like fingerprints and stuff. I don't want to do fingerprints in my customers' films. I'm sure they're very happy for that. And then just kind of get it where we need to go. the less overlapped over the top edge, the easier it is to kind of tuck down where you need to get it to before you like flip it over the top. Because it'll hit this point where it'll stick. What do you use for slip? Baby shampoo and Dawn. Ooh! Ooh! I like it. That looks good. I'd rather have the slip solution be slippy versus not slick enough. I mean, because the worst is it just takes longer to tack down. And when we're tucking so much film into the bottom, the more the better. See, and people tell me shaved edges. And don't get me wrong, some don't turn out quite as good as other ones, but they're usually plenty good enough. But like, tell me. Who's like, it's not always needed. Nah. Okay. So we're gonna squeegee out water. We got it in place. Everything looks good. It's like, I can don't get me wrong, I can appreciate it. It's more of like it's more of a tinter thing. Have you ever had your ring nick the film? A couple times on a back window. That was the worst. Yeah, a couple times. Because when you're doing this, see that right there? And then the ring just scrapes the film. Yeah, it's happened like once or twice. Was not super happy about that. You know, on a back window you could get by with like a real light surface scrape. But not anymore. Cool. So that, I feel like, went really well. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again. I'm just kidding. We got more doors. We got more good Tesla fun. Let's say Tesla a bunch of times so it gets picked up. The algorithm shines a Tesla light on our Tesla. You should try the missing link tool. What is that? Dehydra? Oh. He was gonna send me one sometime, and then he never did. I don't know what happened. Four doors. What? What? I don't even know what you guys are saying anymore. Okay, let me let's pull this off so it doesn't sit here for too long. Right? See? See? See how that's nice and dry? That's why I like it. I get to talk about it like it's like we've never done it before. Because so many people ask me what it is. I haven't actually taken the time to talk about it. See how everything's nice and dry? That's why I like to do it. Rather than seeing little, like, I know, and most of you guys know, that water running down a door panel is not a big deal. But when it's on display, it's just one of those things that, like, ugh. So if you see a tinter and they have water streaks going down the door panel, like, don't worry about it. Everything should be fine. Not everybody's going to do this, but they're not hurting your car. They just don't have much in terms of options because, like, there just aren't. Nothing really sticks to this, and you have to, like, seal it in. So, like, this is good. I like this. Okay, so this is 15. We were doing that on the front. Now we got to do 5 on the back. So where's that? I got to find that roll. This is almost empty. Bum, 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 bum. I think it's buried somewhere. I might have to go. Oh! Phone. How long's that been there, guys? People are supposed to tell me about that one. You use both Dawn and baby shampoo in a bottle? Yeah, they get along. There it is. I knew it was buried somewhere. Have you talked to him? I don't think he likes me. I know we had a brief conversation a while back about, like, using a sledgehammer or something, and I think the only thing I wanted to be clear of at the time was I didn't know if it was like he considers it an all-purpose squeegee or just an installation, and I didn't, like, I wanted to be sure because difference. So some of them I'm seeing are basically just like people use a cleaning squeegee and people use an installation squeegee. I've kind of always just used one squeegee for everything. It's more of an installation, pretty hard tool. Okay, so that's probably why everything just came to a halt, because I only used like one squeegee for everything. And I was trying to get used to using 2 for a little bit, but I just kept going back to using 1. I think using 2 is smart, but there's no reason you can't just use 1 either. So that's where, like, I might have given it a bad impression then if I was trying to use it for everything, and that's not what it's meant for. The Hydro's kind of like the flat out. Oh, okay. I like the flat out. But I'm using the hybrid a lot. I like that material the best right now. What's the best pizza? Free pizza. Not cheap pizza. Free pizza. Well, we got this one spot over in Livonia. I don't expect you guys to know where Livonia is, but if you're ever in Livonia, actually the people that literally were just here were from Livonia. Corsi's Pizza over in Livonia. Best pizza. They've been making pizza for years. They're just so good. It's a little bit of a thinner pizza, but it's just so good. It's hard to describe, but it's the best. I'm working on an old dirty Sable. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so glad I haven't seen one of those in a very long time. I don't even know how they still exist to get tinted. I used to do those things all the time, and I tell you, it was when we were a $160 shop. I'd see those, I'd see Crown Vics, see all the cars that I hated to see. Thin crust, nice crunchy, the best. Yeah, this one really is. Any advice on cutting a Hummer H2? I literally just did one this morning. Man, they're annoying. So, you guys know that I hand cut most doors, and I was like, I'm gonna actually just plotter cut these. It'll be fine. I plotter cut them, they weren't even close. Ugh. Spam call. Crown Vic, not fun. There's cars that are just on my general shit list of like, they're okay. I can do them, but every time you get one, you just roll your eyes super hard, and you're just like, I don't want to do this car. The old Taurus or old Sable and Crown Vics. Those are on my shit. Those are on my shit list. I don't like doing those at all. Are you the spam number that calls literally every day around this time? And then when you pick up, it's like, don't hang up. And then I hang up even faster. Try and catch them at the don't. Actually, I don't even pick up because it's the same area code every time. The worst is when they get your area code, so you have to pick up. And then they just like, gotcha. Dang. No fun. That's my favorite comment. Thank you. I've been practicing a bunch with Lexin. It sucks. Thank you. As long as, like, you know. What gets me frustrated is I just think people get the wrong impression. That's all. So it's like they're all excited, they get it, and then they use it, and like, yeah, they ask questions, and they're like, yeah, tinting's tough, it takes time. But you can have an unfair impression. You can have a totally unfair impression about like window tinting by starting with that stuff over something else. If you use it for your business, then like fine, whatever. It's not my business. It's not my film of choice, but at least if you're starting, just try and give yourself every chance that you can. And that's all. That's all. Oh, I just realized we're double cutting this. Hey, that'll be fine. So front door single, back door's double. Probably something nobody would have noticed unless I said it. Old habits. Been using Fusion All Type, a little bit of Dawn, works good. Nice. I feel like Fusion All Type already is Dawn. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Currently trying to compete with a $100 shop in my area. Had customers throw their price at me, come back to remove theirs and install Geo. Then you leverage the hell out of that. That's amazing. Because, like, I don't exactly know how you frame it, but you got a lot to work with. Get lots of pictures, keep lots of examples ready, and, like, you get lots of price-conscious people, and they're like, yeah, sure, I've redone blah, blah, blah this week. By all means, go there. I'll see you in the month. That's just it. So, like, high efficiency, low cost shops. I mean, they exist and they can still do well, but there's a lot of barrier there with just burning yourself out, because the only way you're making more money is much, like, so many cars. And this is a skill that is really hard to put in that grinder. So people get burnout, people get frustrated. You can cut everything out. You can cut everything out on like a plotter and stuff, but it still makes it tough. So you gotta tint twice the amount of cars that any other shop has to make a living, and that sucks. Ready for Matt to drop the tri-edge tool? Aww. I'm glad you're excited for it. I'm excited for it too. I don't have it on hand yet, but I will soon. He called me yesterday and said they're shipping out either yesterday or today. Excuse me. Thoughts on using child labor? You might have some problems with that. How do you know when you shrunk it enough? When it lays flat. So this one, do I want to set? I don't want to set it up again. Okay, so I wet the window. I squeegeed it. I have a shrinking video that I posted recently. So what I'm looking for is for all this to lay flat on the glass. And if you want to go a little bit farther, you can do that. But basically, I've forced all the contour to pop up in fingers here at the bottom. So when you pull it back and curl it, and then lay it back down, what does it look like? Well, I got some things here. Well, let's take our sprayer. Remember, we just wet the glass, or we wet it, but then we shrunk it and kind of dried it out a little bit. So look, spray underneath, and okay, I got some wavy stuff. Let me squeegee this all out like it's on the inside of the window, and does it look good? Oh, I still got these little things. Well, if I got those little things here, they're probably going to pop up on the inside. So it means to go just a little bit farther. Now, what happens, like, if I go too far, then you're going to have the opposite. You're going to have all these stress lines, like, shooting up the window, and it's going to be really hard to lay it all flat. But right now, I don't have anything popping up at the bottom anymore, and I took everything and I put it to the bottom, and so nothing's there. So I think I'm good. That's kind of how you know. Kind of. All right. What are you guys talking about? Some people say they can get their whole car tinted for like 150 to 200. I'm like, okay, that's good, but probably cheap tint. Go with what you want. Not my problem when the cheap tint bubbles or fades. Pretty much. So those aren't, like, just speaking from my business, yeah, those are not the people that I'm looking after. And it's really kind of interesting. If you price yourself $100, $150, you're in a particular category that it actually walls you out from other people because you're too cheap. I mean, that just, don't even get me started on the amount of headaches that come with those people anyways. But you price yourself cheap because there's probably more people out there looking around for cheap than have more money to spend. So you got to start marketing yourself in a way that gets people that are interested in something a little bit more premium, or at least willing to do 5 seconds of research to like try and find somebody, rather than just like, oh, I opened up maps and these are the people that popped up. I can't buy anything that way. I don't know how people do it. They walk into a phone store and, hi, how are you? How can I help you? I want phone. Well, here's a good phone. Okay, cool, I'll take it. Like, I can't do that. So I go online and I'll do a little bit of research and figure out kind of what I'm looking for, and then I'll go buy that. So same thing with a car place. I'm going to look around, kind of find something that seems to tick all the boxes. So you want to gear your shop up in a way that's ready for that, or that's going to attract that. If you know, and then you'll be able to charge a little bit more for your tint jobs, because all that costs money. Carrying a better material, putting more time, and then you just gotta show it. That's the tricky part, is trying to market all that. Yeah, and the thing is, even if, like, you know your shop, but you gotta make sure everybody else does too. That's always, like I said, that's the tricky part. Okay, so this is what I went back and forth a couple times. I have to trim that there. I don't I don't know why they do, but they do. They notch this window like back this way underneath the seal, but they give you plenty of room to kind of like pull it back and just fix it, or else the whole window will peel. Not a big deal. What's your opinion of Avery? I like their NR. And that's kind of like where things ended back when I was using them, so I haven't used them recently. But, so when I'd say I really liked Avery, I really liked the Avery film that I was using. I still would recommend it. I think it was solid. I think if you want a good color stable dyed film, Avery NR is a great way to go. The problem became when all of a sudden I'm going off from like working with companies that are only selling basically one film, period. They're only selling they're selling tint as tint. And that's not what I'm looking to do here. There's more options out there. That's what I'm trying to offer. So going from that to, that's why I scooted over to Geo. They recently made a significant leap in their carbon, and I liked the sound of that. So we tested it out, and then we kind of like, hey, we really like Geo across the board. Took a little bit of getting used to. Are we good? I don't know why this kept like slip sliding all over the place. So I was just trying to get like, it's just trying to get this in place. It still is a little bit. It was like I stretched it where it needed to go, and then it like bounced back or something. But we're getting it all locked in where it needs to go. Is there a Geo supplier out of Canada? Unfortunately, no. No, they came out of Louisiana. They've been around for number of years. I don't exactly remember how much, but somewhere in like the 2005-ish range, I think, is when they started. And then they were pretty prominent in like adapting with the carbon and ceramic thing. So even when, and that's like, they used to have a film called Dark Matter. I remember using it years ago, and I wasn't happy with it at the time, but I wasn't really happy with like any of the carbon or ceramic films at the time. It was also new. So something I didn't understand as much as I do now. Carbon and ceramic have come a long way. They've gotten clearer as the tech gets better. I'm gonna tint outside later today. Ooh, it's 21 degrees here. Any advice for mobile tinting? Don't tint outside. Not like Mark wants to go to. Okay, like. When you want to apply film, go inside the car. Yeah. That is the way to do it. Why? See that? That's much better. Now we don't have that overlap. It's notched where it needs to be. Thank you, Tesla, for at least making your rubber easy to pull back so I can do that. Neat. It can be done. Sorry. Jesus started making Avery in Israel in 2000 BC. It's really funny because they're out of Israel, yeah. Matt needs to FaceTime me so when I do it outside, you would call me out of some things and wonder how I did it. There's a lot with mobile, and if you live in an environment that's better suited for it, then sure, go for it. But you're always like restricted a little bit by the weather. Actually, a lot. So like, you definitely can't just give like broad advice to everybody on mobile tinting if you're like happen to be in a nice climate where the weather's usually pretty good, right? Because it's like tinting almost inside of a shop. If the conditions are good, then sure, that obviously makes it easier. But if it's like something you're only doing once in a while, then like sure, you do you. Or if that's what you want to do, then go for it. What I hear a lot is people that are trying to get into tinting and they don't have a garage, so they just want to go like, hey, I guess I can tint outside. It just makes it way difficult. Because everything you're trying to learn, you're fighting the weather. Sorry, I can't tint your car today. It's raining. Like, you don't want to be in that situation. And the thing is, like, what you're doing makes money. So if you have a way to facilitate it, then it'll make more money because, like, you know, you're always, or you can get bound up. Like, oh, I made some money, cool, things are good. Oh, shit, weather turned, now I can't tint. But you still have clients waiting to be done. But if you have a space that you can tint out of, then it doesn't matter. Sky's the limit. Sure, I'll work late. Come on in, bring it down, drop it off, whatever. Now you don't have those limits anymore, and yeah, paying for a space can be scary, but you make money towards it, and as long as you can be self-sustaining, you can figure it out. Yeah, I stopped doing mobile a while back. I mean, I think it's kind of what I hear from a lot of people that haven't done mobile, then they do mobile, and then eventually they want out of doing mobile. Why is that? Well, there's just a lot. There's a lot involved. If you're always working against the weather, you gotta rely on customers to have a shop or a garage or, you know, some space that you can tint inside out of the weather. And for every phone call that you get, oh no, sorry, I don't have that. Okay, sorry, I can't tint for you. Well, that's no fun either. So then when you have a space, now you can facilitate it all. Yeah, they got to come to you, but that's just all the pros and cons of it all. I was in a house. I know what it was like, and I really liked it. I wish I could still be there, but now I'm in a shop and definitely don't regret it at all. Canon. Oh, 44 Tools. They just sent me an invoice. Oh, they ordered 100 rolls. Oh, they're so small time. Come on, 44. I know you need more than that. GoPro. I got like smaller carport. I got a small carport. There's no walls, just in and out. But I'll end up using a tarp to cover it, put LED lights to get a better result. That's the way to do it. It's no fun without sidewalls. Blow up paint booth. Oh, I looked into those a little bit. Those things are kind of gnarly. Like, they've got a lot to those now. I was all set to do the front door, and then I decided to do the back door. So, what I'm hearing a lot of is like, there's all the things that you can do. It's not that you can't tint outside. You can do it. But like, what are you gonna run into the most? This is something I had to take a good hard look at for like harder cars. It's like, there's some cars that are worth, if you're the guy that likes a challenge and wants to learn everything, then sure, go for it. I used to pretty much just, whatever car the shop pulled in, that's the car that I had to, the car that I had to do. And I'm better for it. But the vast majority of cars that I get are like, I don't know, mid-range. I get plenty of nice cars, but like, you know, new car leases, new cars, just like in the mid-tier whatever class, from like low to mid to like some high. That's kind of what I get on a daily basis. So every once in a while I get a phone call about like a super old classic car. Do I want to do it? Not really, but I'd like to just, you know that I can do it. So if I can price it right, then I'll just take it on. But most of my work is not that. So, like, there's all these things that I can do, but does it make sense as a business to do it? It's kind of where, like, I hear a lot of things that people can do for mobile, and it's like, yeah, sure. But what is your goal with it? Where are you going? I can tint outside today, but is it a path to like getting into a shop tomorrow, or is that the business that you want to do long term? Like, figure out the goal and then just kind of do things to facilitate that. Like, I know a lot of people are just starting from nowhere and they want somewhere to tint, but being able to have some little setup that you can tint indoors will just help you overall. You realize there's costs involved and you need to charge for them. Instead of just like, hey, I don't know how much I should charge for anything. And then you start attracting really cheap customers, and then you kind of get stuck there. Well, that lined up really nice. Yes, that chat message gets a trophy. What percentage of your time is logistics running the business versus tinting? Yep. Mobile logistics take up a huge amount of time. So it's not that you can't do mobile, but just be smart about it. So like when I was doing mobile, it was for shops. I think even some of the bigger, more known mobile companies, they'll pretty much tell you, like, if they're a one-man show, they're only doing 3 clients in a day because pack up, drive time, unpack, setup. Like, that was a huge amount of time. We recognized this working for a lot of companies. Like, things would get booked, like, okay, you got 2 hours on this car, so you got a 10 o'clock appointment, then you got to run over here to like a 12 o'clock appointment, then you got to run over there for like, where are you, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock appointment. Like, I would run to like 3 or 4 different stores, and the only silver lining about all of that was the stores would save you some time because they'd already have the customer checked in. And if you begged them enough, they would have the car pulled in ready to go. So you hit the ground running. But when you're running around and you gotta like figure out what the customer wants, then you gotta like run out to your car, grab your stuff, set it all up. That's what's really tricky. I set up in an area that's reasonable for that day, and then all the customers come to me. Oh, well, that's kind of like when I was doing mobile for other companies. That's a much smarter way to handle it. Good on you. Because each one, like, I don't know, I could plan out maybe like 15, 20 minutes for setup and like takedown. So that's like, okay, I take my box, take it into the shop, wheel it over, figure out what the film is, go grab that. Like, there's not a lot to set up, but you still have to like and then does my spray tank need to be filled back up? Do I need to get water? So you can get pretty efficient at it. But then, like, you know, even 5 minutes down the road, that's another 5 minutes. And generally these places were at least 20, 30 minutes, and then you got traffic. So it sucked. It sucked a lot. But my favorite way of doing mobile was always going to a shop for a day and then setting up, and then whatever they bring in that day, like, they would schedule cars over the course of the week. So chances are if they had 3, 4 appointments with a couple on backup, that way if somebody doesn't show up, they can call other people, and then you don't feel like you lost out on a day. Then you kind of get this like, okay, I didn't have any overhead. I'm mobile. I have an indoor space. None of this was my own. Like, I didn't have to pay for any of this. So it's kind of a win-win. The only part where you lose is building your own name. It doesn't happen that way. I started tinting under a carport. This week we're putting down a concrete slab to build my garage/shop. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Congrats, man. There'll be people that want to know how you did it. I didn't think about a lot of these things though when I first started tinting. I wasn't looking to be a tinter. I didn't even want to shop. It wasn't till like last year that I really came to, no, the year before, really came to terms with, okay, I guess I got to get a shop finally. I think tinting from home is super fun, but it's definitely not for everybody. Because it's got a lot of the same, like you have a physical location, people can come to you, you're out of the elements. You know, the bad thing is it's at home and not as many people, I think, like that necessarily. Also, if you're problems with your city, that's a big problem too. Just waiting for the time to be right, but I'm excited for that day. There might not even ever be a time where it feels right. But hopefully there is for you. Do you do the triangle? Yes. Yes, for sure. I'm just doing everything else first and then I'll get to it. I'll tell you, getting into a building was way easier. Basically, if you got funds for deposit and like the first month of rent, you can get into the spot. So like I didn't obviously have this place made. This was a place that I just moved into. I did it really, really quickly. But when I was looking around, like there were some places that wanted like a business history and some other stuff because they're a little bit more serious. This was just like, yeah, man. 2 months deposit, first month up front, and everything's good. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I liked it because it wasn't very much planning at all. You can build as you go. It's in my friend's Nissan 16, like a dealership, so it took like a factory with no bubbles and did it outside. Nice. Yeah, you can definitely do good work outside. You got nothing. Be surprised. You can be tinting in a lot of different environments and still put out good work. It's just whatever would make sense for like your business. And where do you want to go? That's always the point. Like I said, there's so many things that like you can do. Wondered if you could use what? I mean, I don't know. I've never tried it. Go for it. Tinting is so much like backyard, figure this out, figure that out. I haven't heard of trying that, but like, give it a shot. There we go, that's better. I know your starting price is $240. Is that for 5 windows? It's recently changed. What? Do you count the cars? Oh, like the number of windows on a car? Not really. I consider a vehicle a vehicle. Learned that a long time ago. Like coupe, sedan, people will want to, like some people, like, again, if you kind of lean towards cheaper, some people will just like count windows and be like, yeah, it's this many windows that I want tinted. What is the price per window? Well, it doesn't really work like that because there's difficulty from window to window, but you can consider it that way. It was a real popular way for shops to ask us that too. Was like, well, it's only a 5-window car. Why on earth wouldn't it cost more? I'm like, I don't know. How much is a remote starter on a Range Rover? And they're like, oh, we don't even touch Range Rovers. I'm like, yeah, dumbass, it's the same way with window tint. This was after telling some of these shops 1,000 times that we don't price that way. That's where that comes from. That inner hatred of like, would you stop? Stop arguing about the pricing that I'm gonna do on the cars for your shop. And you know, if you want another tinter that can do them that way, then go for it. God, that happens so much. You go to like, so I contracted for a lot of different companies doing mobile tint. So, you know, they had the tinting portion of their shop had been a thing for a while, but as you'll notice, a lot of shops can't hold tinters for one reason or another. Sometimes it's tinter, a lot of times it's shop. So like, you'll give them a pricing sheet and then they'll look at it and then kind of like toss it over and then they'll just like fire from the hip. And then to them, it's like, it makes sense just to go by number of windows. Okay, this car has 5 windows. Okay, this car has 10 windows. This is what I should charge for it. And it's like, no, there's little ins and outs to all of it. So the way that I would generally charge is just vehicle type. Trucks, sedans, coupes, we're all kind of under the same umbrella. And then mid-size SUVs and then full-size SUVs would get a bump up. So, yeah, there's harder sedans, there's easier sedans, and when you have one that would basically, when you would have one that would go above and beyond what was traditionally difficult, that's where you would charge more for, but a lot of times it was pretty straightforward as far as the pricing goes, but good God, they would argue with us tooth and nail about, like, hey, why didn't you charge this much for it? Well, it was only a coupe. It's like, does it say that on your pricing list? Well, no, but stick to the pricing list if you want me to do the job. Customers would negotiate with them, and it was really sad. You start to see how they're not as much of a business as they could have been. You move on to the next place. Would you look at that? All the places that are charging more are generally just less of a fight. They have good clients. They put out good work, and they're the most fun to work with. It's all the cheap places. They're always a pain in the ass to work with. Tint shop messed up my back window. Bubbles everywhere. They say that if you replace it, the defrogger gets damaged. That's on me. What do you think? That's not fair. Oh, I definitely think it's not fair. Canon. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, I don't have time right now. Yikes. GoPro. Trying to stream. Don't they understand it? Spam calls. I'm trying to write these articles on the council advisory board. I'm sorry, I'm busy. You sound like the Joker. You got 2 first names. Okay, so you're right. Shop messes up your car. It's not fair. Here's what I'll say. Most times it's totally fine. They're probably just trying to do anything and everything to get you to not replace the back window because that's a lot of work for them to do. How much did it actually cost you to get the car tinted? I'm curious. So, as long as they use like a steamer to remove it, which is what most people do, a steamer and glass safe scrub pads, which again is what most people use, and then like an adhesive remover, everything's going to be fine. They always put a lot of shops will put some type of disclaimer on your defroggers. They're usually totally fine. It's like some overblown thing. I've maybe encountered 1 or 2 cars from actually like doing a film removal where that's pulled defrosters off, but dude, they're typically fine. BMW, Audi, Mercedes have really weak defrosters. Mercedes, the E-Class, I'd agree with. Maybe a little bit of the C-Class. I've done removals on all of them, and the only one that I've, the one that comes to mind was a VW. But if you just had something tinted and somebody messed it up, dude, it's just, just fix it. Don't be an ass. Don't like, oh, you can mess up the defrosters. Just fucking fix it for the guy. Shops piss me off. They're just trying to yes, it's part that, but like, hey, dumbass, you should have done a good job the first time. Like, oh, now it's on me? Like, yeah, it's stupid. I don't know how much you spent, but that doesn't even mean you get good customer service or not. It's just, if you only spent like $150, then don't expect the world. But if you did spend more and you did some research, man, I'm sorry, that sucks. This is a very skilled trade, and when you still try and do everything you can to make sure you get a good job and then don't, it just hurts. Because it's not as simple as just like, oh, you can unbolt something and bolt it back up. It's scraping, and it's just as much of an art skill. I had God, what was it? I had one window peel not long ago on something. I'm trying to remember what it was. And then the guy came in, like it was during Christmas time, tinted it in like December, and then after holidays, he was like, hey, yeah, one of the windows peeled, and I got it in before I was on a vacation. And there's like 100 people here. What are you talking about, lonely? But yeah, he like pulled out his wallet to pay for something. I'm like, man, you just had it was they rolled down the window early. That's what it was. But it shouldn't have even happened then, in my opinion. It was a really funny story. I forgot. Their son, they had a baby seat in the back. It was really funny. They said their son farted, and so his wife rolled the window down, and then one of the windows peeled. That's a shame. But then he like pulled out his wallet to pay for it. And I'm like, dude, no, it's just a warranty as far as I'm concerned. if you got a problem with the work, like, within some level of reason, right? It'll get taken care of. That one was a funny one, though. Let me tell you, I've worked for lots and lots of shops that it's just air guns, loud music, noise all day. This is such an anomaly and a blessing. You have, even getting a shop, getting your own place and having it quiet because people next door don't have much to do, like, I can't tell you. You can rent plenty of spaces and they still have like mechanic work going on next door. You know, somebody's yelling, cars are honking, like city noise, anything and everything. To have everything be quiet, oh, it's so nice. I've never had another shop like it that has been quiet. Not like this. I just realized I should have just give it one more little bump. Oh, I heard you ask the question like 2 or 3 times, but I was talking about other stuff every time. I can run you guys through the heat box demo because we just wrapped up with the doors, and it's nice. I think I've taken away from my clay bar pile. Okay. So, I always like to show my showroom anyways. Wait, can I make a coffee too while I'm up there? Or do I have coffee? No, I still got a little bit. It's fine. All right. Hey, this is my showroom. Okay, so heat box demo. That's what this guy is. So, this is BTU meter. I got this from Tint Depot. Can we drop that link? Tint Depot. I'll make sure it gets on there. Anyways, so both of these are from Tint Depot, so say thank you to them. This is probably one of the coolest heat box setups that I've seen. They came in a variety with like slides and like you'd have to get them custom built. This is a really popular demo now. And it just looks a lot more clean and it's really simple because everything spins around. There's a 250 IR light bulb in here. So you turn that sucker on and you can feel the heat coming off of it. And this is a BTU meter. So if I turn it on, it should say 0. But if I put it closer to the lamp, you can get it real hot depending on how far away you are or how close. So I always like to set it at about 300, like the distance. So, but it's real touchy. So I typically have a little stack of like clay bars here holding it. I'm just gonna try and give you as best of a illustration as I can right now. I've shown this in videos though. So going from no tint to tint doesn't change the meter much at all. It's actually like a 3 or 4 point difference. Let me go get some. This is annoying me now a lot because I can't put your hand in front of it. It's all got to be numbers based. That's annoying. It's annoying. I'm annoyed. So let me get some of these. This is just a good thing to stack up. I should have something fancy, but I don't know why I don't. I've been doing this for so long that it hasn't mattered. But you don't need much. So like I said, I'll usually set this at about 300. So look, 300 right there. No tint. Then we move to tint. What is it at? It's at 299. 304. 302. It's just the wiggle. I can still feel a lot of heat coming through that. Now if I go to the carbon in the exact same shade, it went from 300 to 155. Again, 300, 155. So it feels cooler. You can still feel some heat, but it feels cooler. And then if you go to the ceramic, it's about 80 to 90 right there. And that's where it's like, what a difference. Hardly feel anything coming off of that. So that is the setup. I like it a lot. It's really easy to explain the differences between one film and another. That's kind of, if you don't have a heat box, get one. Tint Depot. There you go. That's where I got it. Okay. So we got all these. Geo sells one. Oh, okay. Yep, probably sell the same one. Do you put your own tint on it? Yeah, for sure. Oh, those are the 20% Geo samples. Set the meter down so nothing knocks out. Ah, it's fine. Thing's at the little tank. You could drop it and it'll be fine. But what I've seen a lot of shops do is they have the heat box demos without the meters though. What's really nice about the meter is like when you feel heat coming off of there, like you can't really quantify how much it's blocked. You can say 50, but you still feel heat coming off of it with the carbon. And then when you go to the ceramic, it's like that's where you feel such a giant dramatic difference. But that's at an extreme test. You're talking about a 250 watt IR bulb. It gets very, very hot. I think I've got a little thermometer there that tells me how hot that sucker is. I should do that and see. But you can burn yourself. You can literally melt film with that bulb. Like, it's an extreme test. You're trying to simulate the sun. So to feel that much of a difference is really, really big. So what's nice is having that meter alongside it and being able to show somebody, look, I'm not making this shit up. Like, literally just meter, film, there you go. Take it outside if you want. Shine it up at the sun on a warm day or just at a sunny day, because it'll still do a lot on a cold day anyways. But you're not gonna feel much of a heat difference on a cold day. That's summertime stuff. Just saw a little bit I can push out right now. My garage is almost done being constructed as a tint shop. I'm right down the street from your dad's shop. Hope he doesn't destroy me. He will love to try and destroy you. It's fair warning. Oh, that's a funny one. Good luck, man. You're in a really competitive area, I'll tell you that much. Livonia, Dearborn, Redford, Dearborn Heights. A lot of shops over there. I didn't move out here though because there were less shops. I move this hoodie, it's driving me crazy. My sleeves keep falling down. Can you try tint? Wall market film. Try. Can you retype your question? Because there's a lot of funkiness with it. I don't understand. Walmart. What about Walmart? You gotta start over, bud. People type, but they don't read what they type. Do you see what I said about defrost line tape repair? Oh, just replace it. No, I haven't seen it. I know like the old school way you could like paint lines back on. If it's like one line and you gotta just do like a small repair and there's no tint there, then sure, that'll get by. No, you're not repairing defrosters unless it's, like I said, a little nick, something that you can keep very slim on the glass. And I mean, like, dude, if you have sand under your film, it looks like a boulder. So a little, like I said, it's got to be super thin and super clean. So any type of a defroster repair, no. So if you had like defrosters falling off the glass, if you go to pull film off of the glass, it's gonna take most of the grid with it, not just like a little piece or anything. Even if it took only one line with it, you're not gonna fix it. And chances are it's lower stuff that's just hard to get to, not the upper stuff. Sorry, I'm from Finland, so my English is not so good. No worries, man. I just saw like 2 half questions there, and then I heard Walmart afterwards. Okay, so he wants you to try Walmart tint on windshield. Why? No! I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I did. I did the dark one. 2.5%. That was nothing but Walmart film with GeoShield right next to it. And if you look at the GeoShield, it looks so much better. Both on the outside and the inside. Actually, it's over here. Let me show you guys real quick. I didn't want to throw it away. This is the Walmart. So this is 3/4 Walmart, or 2/3. This is 2/3. This shiny shit right here, that's all Walmart. And that shininess made the windshield not look dark. Look at how black this stuff is in comparison. This is the Pro Classic that I use. There's a big difference there. So this was double 5, double 2.5, triple 2.5. I did Walmart film on a windshield. Let me get my light. What's worse, Apex or Walmart? Oh, Walmart by a long shot. I paid $380 for a 19 Camaro Pinnacle. Nice. Sounds good. I hope they did a nice job. Hybrid and the BTU meter are out of stock. I know they were never super good at keeping the meters in stock. I'm trying to think of anybody else that sells them. Look up solar power. No, not solar power meter. See, in that case, I don't think Sun Distributing carries those meters, but it's worth checking out. 44 might carry them. Also, check out, GeoShield. Somebody was saying GeoShield carries them too, so hopefully they still have them in stock. It's one of those things that gets sold out in waves, so like they'll sit on the shelf for a long time, and then somebody will talk about them, and then everybody goes and buys them, and then nobody buys them. Nobody buys them unless unless you see a demo, and then everybody's like, I gotta go get one, and then everybody gets it, and then they're through that cycle so many times. When you feel cooler using a lightsaber instead of a yes, I think you'd feel cooler doing anything with a lightsaber. Like what? The question is, what wouldn't you feel cool about with a lightsaber versus what you usually use? Is it possible to make $250 plus a day tinting around local shops or dealerships, Dearborn Heights area, by the way? Yep, for sure. So, see, $250 is like one car. If it's priced right, it's like one car without a windshield. So it's not even like that high of a bar to hit. But you gotta hit it like every day, right? So like 2 sets of doors would get you most of the way there. So you're talking about an area that I'm really familiar with. I actually literally just had a couple people come in from Livonia today, so like weird coincidence and everything. I usually don't have visitors, but today I did. What would I do if I was out there? There's so much competition out there. That's why, like, I don't know why. Like, there's tons of people wanting tin out there, but there's so much condensed competition, and I trained some of it. So there was like, you got like, Dr. Tinno, Auto Tint City, you got the cartoons, you have Auto Tint Way, and Tint Masters. Like, I know that area better than I know out here, because I've just been out there for a long time. How would I go about it? If you're trying to... Do you know how to tint? Or are you still learning? Dr. Tinno is trash can. You guys want to hear a Dr. Tinno story? So, the 3 people that own Dr. Tinno, I worked with them at my dad's shop. So one of them was the remote start installer. One of them was the head counter sales guy, who's really good, by the way. And the other guy was a full-time window tinter. And what I can tell you is that we were all frustrated. We were incredibly frustrated with how everything was running and how we didn't have any say in pretty much anything. And it was just a big... we pull in cars, we do work, but it was like... We wanted to see that place do really, really well. And we had lots of things, like, you know, we're there all the time. We can kind of see what can be changed, what can be improved. And just, at the time, none of us were getting listened to, hardly at all. It's just lots of yelling, you know, lots of fighting, lots of debating. So they got frustrated, and they all quit on one day, weekend, or whatever, and they formed Dr. Tinno. And I was real upset because guess who all the shit work is on now? It's me. Hi, I'm like one of the lone employees left. It was like me, my younger brother, and like my dad in a 6,000 square foot building again. Starting what felt like from the ground up yet again. And dude, it's just, in a place like that, you're grinding 12 grand a week just to pay overhead. That's not fun. How does it feel like it's just like you're on this treadmill all day, every day, just to like break even? Like, no, thank you. I just realized I should probably put this on the glass board, and I'll open it back up. But anyways, what would I do? If I didn't know how to tint, I'd go get a tint job at my dad's shop. This is what a lot of people do, though. They go get a job at my dad's shop, they learn how to tint, and then they go start their own business. That's why there's so much competition there. But if you know how to tint, I mean, it's not bad. Like, oh, I got other comments too. But like I'm saying, if you know how to tint and you're trying to build your business, that's going to be a tough area to do it in. It's not that it's not possible. Like, I don't know what you can do out of there for sure, but just start pulling in your own work, treat your customers right, do a good job, charge accordingly. That's all generic stuff that doesn't help. I had something in mind that I forgot about, so maybe I'll remember it in a couple seconds. Oh, you can supplement some of your time by trying to approach, like you said, approach some other companies, but I would sway away from other tint shops. I'd maybe lean towards, unless they're paying right, I would lean more towards other companies that are trying to pull in tint work rather than existing tint shops, because most of the tint shops there, I don't know, they're going to pay you probably like $150 a day, $200 for like the full day, and you just do a full car and get that anyways. But it just depends on what you're going for. If you're going for like experience, then that comes at a cost, working through a different company, because they're teaching you. I feel like if you work for a shop, they will be cheap. Yep, that's typically the case. If I buy Glacade tape and clay bars from Geo, do they ship as fast as their film? They should, but they don't. Their film comes really fast. The clay bars and all the other tools are I ship out, so sometimes things take a little bit longer. I try and ship out like every other day. So orders will be going out tomorrow morning. So if you order now, it'll go out tomorrow morning. I know it's not Amazon, I'm sorry. Everybody's cheap. Nobody wants to pay you what you're worth. That's why everybody goes and starts their own shop. No, my dad's shop is actually pretty good, but you gotta earn it, which is fair. But like, here's the thing: there's only so much money to go around. Like, for these shops, they are production because that's what they gotta be. Whatever their average film price per car, they gotta pay all their other bills too. So it all costs money. Some will pay like commissions, so you're more dependent on what they pull in, which isn't a bad thing, and some just pay like flat day rates and will try and load you up with a lot of stuff. I mean, you hope that's the case anyways, that they just try and load you up with stuff. Let's see. So we had a program through the cartoons as a whole. So they have the Redford one. Do they still have that one? Let's see. Trying to think here. So Cartoons Redford was run by a guy named Chad, and I don't think he's there anymore. Like, he owned it, and I don't think it's his anymore. Ran it into the ground, unfortunately. It's a tough business, though. But tinting for them, like, they had they had the Westland store, they had the Lincoln Park store, and then they have the Redford store. So we used to tint for them, and they were not the most fun to work for, but they did pay pretty well too. Eventually, like once we worked them up to a particular point, because they used to pay like $160 a car or something, but when they're desperate, they would pay more than that. So I've heard lately they're paying $200 plus per car and making like, I don't know, like $100 on a car or something. So they're actually worth pursuing, but the downside of them is they are a remote start and accessory shop first, and they've grown to kind of accommodate for window tinting because of a lot of training that they went through from us, and yelling and screaming and fighting and all that, you know, training. So you could have a pretty good customer base right there, and I think it would be, you know, as long as your tint's pretty competent, but they don't have anybody that can help you. You are the tinter there. You can be friends with Attack, and like they'll help you take something apart if they got time. Canon. No sugarcoating. I've been saying Auto Tint City was the best around, and it caught me off guard the other week when you said it was your dad's. Yeah, the place has an interesting history. I started that place with my dad. He's not a tinter, but like he did the business stuff. I did like if you look at my older videos, all the live streams, or sorry, no live streams, all the videos happened out of that one little bay there. That space is much bigger, but there wasn't ever a lot going on around there at the time. So still, I think to this day, most of the money from that place comes out of that one little bay. It's just, you don't need a big space. Is there any chance you could get Glass Aid shipped to Slovakia? Sun Distributing. Check out Sun Distributing. They sell it too. They'll do international. The only other one that I heard that was already international was ordered through GDI. They're, I think, rapgear.nl. But they haven't ordered in a while, so I don't know if it's still available there or if it ever made sense for them to do it. Okay, so everything else is done. We just got 4 quarter windows to do. And I don't know, should we use a plotter for the rest of them? I suppose. It's not long. Should be pretty quick. Carbon. Yeah, I'm just going to try and plot these. We'll see what happens. My friend owns Auto Accessories USA in Livonia. He won't even let me come do free labor. Well, it's good that he pays you. I don't know if I've heard of that one. So many Livonias. Livonia, like I said, Livonia, Redford, Dearborn Heights, Dearborn, that whole area. There's so many companies out there. He doesn't pay me, won't let me come there at all. Oh, well, that's really shitty then. Sounds like a bad friend. Canon. All right, I'm waiting for it to pop up. There it is. So this is a, I don't know, 2020 Tesla. They're all the same, but it'll pop. Don't freak out yet. It'll pop up 22 through 12. Wow! Look at how long they've had the exact same glass in this car. From 2012 through 22, it has gone completely unchanged. So if these don't work, look at these little quarters. We don't need this in a 40, but this is what we got, so that's what we're gonna do. Wow, we can put so many in here. Front doors fixed. Why are they different? Huh, that's goofy. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, wait, I have more room. Hang on, this is about to get more fun. Bam! All right, we'll just leave it like this, which is very not Tetris-y. But I don't care. GoPro. How come when I'm shrinking my windshield, the H pattern doesn't work? It does. You just gotta get used to it. Windshields are tougher. They generally pinch up at the top. Well, they do. So they kind of taper. It might not look like it, but on a lot of windshields, the top portion kind of comes up like this, and then the back comes out this way. So the back will be a little, or the bottom will be a little bit easier to shrink. The top, everything kind of pinches up there a little bit more. You're just bunching the film up. Well, you asked for an option. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. A lot of these things are like they come from the US or they're developed through people in the US. And so that's like where they all got to ship out of. So if you're not in a very dense tint country, then you're kind of beholden to whatever shipping costs are. So you can get them. It's just expensive. Aw, that's nice. Can you go live tomorrow and enjoy them? I'm glad to hear that. Maybe. Well, that was nice. Look at all those quarter windows that I can use now. So, I don't know if this is still the case. Is this still the case? No, it can't be. One funny thing is, like, I swear, when I tinted these the first time, water would come through here and drip out along here. And I thought that was funny. I'm like, there's a hole in this car. Why is there a hole there? I don't know if that's still the case, but I guess we'll find out. So close to 100K. I know! It slowed down a lot, though. It's the time. It'll pick up for summertime. But, like, we're real close, and then, yeah, slow back down. but we'll be there soon enough. I think by like mid next month, it's inevitable, unless everything completely dies. Gonna come see you one day. One day. Just call ahead. Schedule an in-person meeting. This is what the people did today. So, like, I usually don't have people visit. And it's annoying, too, because... like, I want to say, sure, just come on in. But when I'm live, like, I don't have time to, like, talk to people because I'm talking to you now. So, like, if you want to watch everything, this is how you do it. This is the best way to talk to me. Because, literally, like, I schedule appointments, and then I do them live. So, like, if that's not going on, then sometimes I'll have stuff that I'm doing here at the shop that I can just, like, yeah, it's no big deal. Today was one of those days. I had a nice gap in between a morning thing and this. What's the most common type of tint film? I don't know. Dyed film? You hit a play button at 100? Yes, 100,000. I get my little YouTube acknowledgement, and then I'm gonna retire. Got my play button. That's it. I'm done. It's nothing more than a... I'll be so proud of that play button. Nobody will care as much as I do. People will be like, congrats! We've seen... you see channels sneeze and get that. That one worked out really well. Good job. Way to go. Way to go, Platted Quarter. Proud of you today. Except for the doors this morning. Oh, I'm so mad at that. Had an H2. If I was to plot like any door windows, Hummers are like on one of the high priorities to just plot it, so to get it out of my life. Just because it's tricky. Like, it's not that I can't do it. I didn't have to do it more than once. It just takes a little bit more time. They're really funny contours and stuff. So I did it. But I plotted one first, and I put it up there, and then it was just so far off. Man, I was mad. Gave you a shot. But for quarter windows, it seems to be pretty good. What is that? Hope nothing's falling down. On a day that I'm not steaming. I'm steaming over that Hummer, let me tell you. Yeah, that's fine. I just never know what to tell people because I'm here and I'm not. It's like, when should I call you? I don't know, just try. But call ahead. Just like check in. Don't think I'm trying to like brush you off if it's a no. It's like it's stuff that I can't really plan for because I'm either doing stuff that like either personal or work stuff that doesn't need to happen here. Or then if I got a full car here, I'm obviously streaming it, so then I can't really stop and talk to people. Not much anyways. After the car is usually pretty good for a little bit, but it depends on the time of day. It's annoying. Just not people. It's the way that it's set up. It's like, yay, we get to talk and hang out. So people want to come here and hang out for a little bit, and it's like, yay! But everything that I do to facilitate it all is like, it's all online, so that's what makes it tough. I need my quarter. Why didn't you use it for the rest of the car? Maybe because I used it for H2 this morning, and it had gaps the size of my front teeth. I don't know. I get that question a lot. Like, why didn't you use them for the doors? It's because the doors is where it lets me down. Quarter windows, it's usually fine on a lot of cars, but some doors are totally fine, and some of them are close enough. Do you have a senior discount for those 85 plus? Can't say I do. So I end up using a plotter for like some of the quarter windows because they're like small, they're tedious to cut out. And if there seems to be anything that they're like, your tolerances aren't as close. So on a door window, all my edges, especially these, all my edges are exposed. On these, I got this dot matrix border around the whole thing. So how much room do I have to work with on the whole thing? I could cut my pattern jagged and probably about 1/2 an inch too wide all the way around and still get it to work. So as long as it's big enough, it'll work on that. It'll work on the back window. The doors, you have to be real close about all your edges. So that's where some software works really well. It's not as easy to as like plotter, not plotter. There's a lot of little nuances, like what software are you using, what machine are you using. All that plays into it. Do you have to make an appointment? Yes. Yeah, because I try and set aside like 3 hours for a full car, and then like 4 hours for a full car with a windshield. So people just walk in. That's not happening. That took me a long time to kind of come up with here, though. So I can like comfortably accommodate like a couple appointments a day. And then if I want to just move faster, then yeah, I'll just schedule them together and move faster. But I like being slow now. It's relaxing. Got that owner syndrome. Okay, so on this quarter window, things are pretty straightforward. We got mostly a dot matrix border. And then an exposed edge here. So we'll see this. We'll see how this works. I don't even think I have to squeegee after I did that. Trying to get this. There we go. Like that. What do you think? You think it's going to fit? They had so many generations to get this right. Is it going to work? It's looking pretty good. Yay! I think that's good. That's really close on that edge, too. I like it. Nice. What cutting software do you recommend? He takes a big breath. He boils on the inside a little bit. Oh no! Canon. We got one more quarter to do. It's down. What do we do? So while this is getting fired up, I can be all fired up about plotters. Plotter software. So this is Film Cut, and it's definitely not amazing, but it's like $85 a month, and you can try it free for 30 days. Other than that, as far as like available software, is probably Computer Cut. I think it's like $250 a month, and anybody can use it. From what I understand, it's actually not locked down to SolarGuard. They own it, but they don't make you use their film. So that's good, because a lot of companies will let you use their software for like a year, and then they'll knock on your door and be like, "Hey, we noticed you're not using our film." Be like, "Yeah, but I like your software, so I'll keep paying you for it." Be like, "But you're not using our film. We don't want you to use our software. Why don't you use our film?" Oh yeah, I forgot we gotta do this part. Film and vinyl doesn't need internet to work, so if you're not mobile, it can be very beneficial. If you're in the Expel umbrella, that's the only thing. Always that little asterisk there. The best software, highly recommended it, love it a lot, only if you use Expel. Sad face. I know how they got it out there too, and like, would I have done the same thing? Yeah, probably. It was smart. You open it up to everybody, you prove its worth, you show a lot of effort and care, and then all of a sudden you lock it down. Because if it was always just locked down to dealers, it wouldn't have as good of an impression as it does, I don't think. Just with the people that know it and use it. Film and vinyl. Oh, I used it. I'm not saying if you're using Expel mobile. Film and vinyl is a good option. I didn't like their patterns. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're better now. They drove me crazy. I think maybe I can try SolarGuard again or something, if they even work with the plotter that I have. How do you get rid of white streaks left on door panels? Spray more. Spray more slip solution. So the white streaks are left behind from literally like the fats in the soap. So literally take a rag and then just wipe it a lot, and then they'll come out. The answer is kind of funny how that works, but it does. What? How do you prevent ghosting from squeegeeing the film? I need you to read that and tell me you could answer it if you didn't know where you were coming from. Got some fast fingers today. Like watermarks when you... No, I need context. Just everything again, but a little bit more thoughtful. It's like, I'm gonna start calling it out. This happens regularly. I usually just ignore it, move on to the next one. But it's funny because somebody will type out a question and it'll just be all kind of jarbled. It's jarbled. I don't know how else to explain it. And then rather than like restating it in a way that makes sense, they just try and finish the thought. But I don't know where you're coming from. It's just, I'm all confused. You like threw a bunch of letters into the air and they all landed in a particular, I don't know what you're trying to say. Let's start from the top. And 1 and 2. Well, that was fun. We're pretty much all done. Would today be a day to stop by? No, not at this time. I'll be here as late as the customers to pick it up, and then I'm out. Possibly, if you had started driving when I was about like halfway through the car, that's not a bad time. So like if I'm tinting and like things are going well and then like I'm gonna be done the stream, that's not a bad time to walk in like right towards the end of it, because essentially like you're the customer at that point. It's like, hi. It's like, oh hi. So that's usually a good time. Unless I don't have to like rush out of here right afterwards. But there's usually like a little bit of time in between finishing the car, touch-ups, and then a customer coming to pick it up. So that's usually a good time to grab me. So I'll be running What? Are you... Why is... Okay, somebody want to tell me why the trunk is yelling at me? Maybe because it doesn't know where it's at. Probably because it doesn't know where it is in space. There we go. It didn't know where it was. Now it knows where it is. It's like, I've been up for a very long time. I've been trying to figure out what's going on. This is really weird, guys. Put me down. I'm scared. That's what it was. That's not a... That won't make you cringe a little bit, though. So how's the dad life going? Oh, it's going nice. It's definitely a lot of work, but it's fun, super fun watching him grow up. He's now running a lot more. He never likes to sit down for very long at all. So like, if you want to just like, if you can grab his attention, he'll like sit there for a little bit. But dude, he is always on the move. Soon as he was like could sit up, he didn't want to lay back down. And then just kept going like that. Ooh, I like it. So he can kind of like jog all over the place now. So that's kind of what he's doing. He'll just walk back and forth and all over the place all day. No, don't. I need you to be out here. Come on, Model 3. Give me the door. You had the handle. Give it back. How about this one? I don't know what this Tesla is thinking. I just need it to like, come on, wake back up. There we go. Let me wake up a little bit and then I can finish up these doors. So each one of these, right now it thinks that the doors are closed. So you have to like individually open them back up, unlatch them. And then you'll be better off. Oh, that's not a finger. That's a little piece of tint. I thought that was totally a finger. How about that? So before I close them up, I still like to do this, just to be sure. But I don't want to close the key in the car. That would be a not fun thing to do. Do you still use dot tricks? Yeah, but very rarely. The only times I'll actually use it is on those older vehicles. You guys make me laugh. Like an installation is a hassle, but the outcome is good. What I hear is, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get it. Generally, yeah. Yeah, like it'll look good when it's on the glass and in your garage. It's just when you drive it out in the sunlight that it doesn't look as good anymore. Okay, there we go. I only like half closed it. It scared me, but I'm sure people do that all the time. Dang! All right, somebody explain this to me. I have the key. Tesla, I didn't tell you to just lock up. We're not closed yet. Okay, somebody want to like... Okay, there we go. The truck just explodes. Come on. There we go. All right. You don't have the drop to them. Okay, I swear. I'm not ruining the car. I'm just... I think it was a double tap. Just closed all the doors and it's like, oh, hey, you wanted everything locked up, right, boss? No, I'm right here. Stop it. This is kind of funny. All right. I'm going to leave a couple of the doors open. Teslas are shit. Wow, that was just strong. No need for that. It's a settings thing. It was just kind of funny. It just closed them all and zoop, wait. Not water. What water? There's no water damage. No, it's a setting. It's a setting on the car that was set because it's a setting. But I just didn't fully understand it because I just, you shut the doors and then it's like, hey, what you doing? That's all right. It happens. The AI has awoken. It's done something all right, that's for sure. All right. Well, she looks good. Canon. Good. I could get coffee now. How many vehicles today? Oh, it's just the 2. That Hummer windshield, man. I don't think I've ever done a Hummer windshield. I knew it was going to be like stubby. I figured it was going to be like a Jeep, and it is. It's just like 2 Jeep windshields together, though. It's super wide. Easy, but super wide. Front doors are annoying. Oh, it was Gator. So our settings, the people that just... You sound like I do about plotters. Now, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna call and let this guy know his car's all set, and then I'm gonna grab a little coffee and we'll hang out for a minute. Best way to stop creases in the corner while heat shrinking, pole shrink. This is as best as I can tell you. So let me start this phone call here. $3.44. Okay, cool. He just messaged me. He was like, I already know. Awesome. That's the benefit. It's the benefit of watching the live stream. Go over and watch Rick. Oh yeah, he's gonna do his live stream too, isn't he? Okay, hang on. Let me pop up here. Sun distributing. It's gonna pop up somewhere. Here, I'm gonna link them. So Rick's gonna go live. I don't think he has an announcement for it. No, he doesn't. This. Check out that. After this stream, go see Rick. We'll probably be on till he's on then. But I'm gonna grab a little bit more coffee in the meantime. So yeah, back to like creasing in the corners. Watch as many shrinking videos as you can. And this isn't the best car to explain that on right now because we're not doing the windshield. Oh, I should push this down. Push that. And yeah, like I said, just watch as many as you can. I have a lot of windshield videos where I do explain it during the streams. This mostly has to do with something called pole shrinking. So you want to tug at the film up in the top while you're shrinking it to kind of flatten out the surface of it. I don't know why I grabbed this. But all your film, I was making sure I wasn't tossing away a good pod. I'm so distracted with this. Okay, so your film up here is all bunched up here. So you have to kind of like tug it, just flatten it out, and then shrink it a little bit off the surface and just kind of get it to all lay flat that way, rather than just leaving big fingers and then trying to just heat it and bunch it up all up together. Because what's happening is the heat is not hitting the surface evenly. It's hitting that top peak part. So you just keep pushing yourself into a corner. So when you lift it, it'll also lift off of this area a little bit, and you can push some stuff out this way. But like I said, a lot of shrinking videos explain all this in a lot more detail than I can right now. So okay, so he's on the way. So I'm just gonna make sure this is all touched up. And then, it's my coffee. Is it coffeeing? Today's going pretty well. Got a few things done. Did what I think is a pretty nice job on this one. So that's always a bonus. It's a bonus to be able to do what you do right with little hassle. What's the darkest? So the darkest that I've had requested is just typically like my darkest over the 5. If they want like double or anything, which is just not common at all, I tell them sure, but it's gonna take a while to get or to make happen, because I'm not really just gonna tint once and then tint immediately over it. Like, we'll probably have a couple of sessions for it. At least that was the last time, because like somebody was like, hey, can I do like double? And I was like, sure. And he's like, but I got a 2:30 appointment. Then I'm like, probably not then. But if you drop it off with me for like the day, then yeah, we could probably do it and it'd be all fine. But it's just, once you go through like, hey, you're not really going to have a warranty on it either. Like, I don't know. People with a little bit of money are sensible. This. I'm going to make sure this is pinched. So what's happening is this button against that seal because I have it so close. Gotta warm it up a little bit. Those dots like to hold water. I got that real close. So let's see now. We good? Okay, we good. We good. I don't understand why people want their car 555. Oh, I don't know. They just do. Nothing's ever dark enough. Then they get used to it and then they want to go darker. I mean, when I first started tinting, I understood it a little bit more, but I got to the point where I put like 5% on my front doors and I'm like, I'm good. I took it off. I'm like, nah, this is dark enough. Like the 15 that I had, I was plenty happy with that, so we just went back to that. But there's not much point. There's not much point past a certain level, just because of like glare. It's just like, I don't know, you just look at it too much, I think. So 5 is good. If you want to go darker than that, like factory, 5 over factory, like it's still fine. It's just like there's no privacy purpose anymore. You already can't see in with like 5%. So then doing it is just, hey, I get used to it and then it feels bright to me, so I want it even darker, and then I want it even darker. I gotta get a picture of this before I forget. I forgot to get a picture of a couple of cars, and I'm sad about that. Let me do that. The 20 you did for me is perfect, and the 50 on the... Oh, I'm glad to hear that you like... Sorry, excuse me. I'm glad to hear that you liked it. That's what we go for. Oh, and chat, you didn't sell them. Oh, my coffee. I forgot. Gotta go grab that. So what was it? What was the car that... What was the last one we did? I'm trying to remember what the car was. It was red. Oh, it was the K5. Chat. You didn't sell the windshield. I'm very disappointed in you. I have to scold you a little bit because I congratulated you for selling the windshield, but it turns out you didn't. Canon. Yep, the K5 GT. For some reason I was thinking Lexus. So that should make you feel good about the K5. Ooh. Keurig. It's okay. It'll get you by. All right, what do I need to do? I need to get this car typed up. Oh, yeah, somebody asked about invoicing and all of that stuffs. So I use Tint for all my invoices, and I use like Wix Calendar for all my scheduling, just because people make it easy. So it's not something I can show you guys right now, unfortunately, but I'm getting it typed up. I can show you like little pieces. But so I use like for payment processing, I use something called Zettle, which I've been told now that it's actually a really competitive thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's nice to know. Or S Tesla Model S create project. So that's rear, backside windows. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. Front side windows is save and close. So we gotta change this. Front side windows. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So this is C2-5 for the back. And then this is C2-15 for the front. Edit. But we can call it... I don't think they got 15 in their thing, but it's definitely 15. Create invoice. So we're going to change that in the invoice. Do you hate the Golf 5? No. No, it's not that bad. It's annoying, but I don't hate it. It's a little strong, don't you think? Okay, save. All right, cool. Now I can get back to things. Invoicing. It's always fun. It's not. I hate doing it. There's often earlier I wouldn't invoice anything. It's just, oh, I got to type it up and stuff. He was telling me you ordered an Uber, and it's not going to get there until like 4:19. So we got a couple minutes. What do you suggest for brand names and logos? Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up Zettel really quick. I don't know. So I started on like PayPal here, which is like one of the easiest ways to like get into payment processing. So let's see if I can bring it back over. I need to have like a desktop shortcut, and I could have one in like 2 seconds, but I keep getting distracted, so I don't set it up. So like this is Zettel. It's basically like you have invoicing, which is just a way to write everything down. You can do your invoicing. You can do your invoicing like a number of different ways. And so TintWiz is a really good way to keep track of everything. There's a number of them. TintWiz is more automotive geared, and there's features with it that make it a lot more tint friendly than like another payment processor would be, or like another like, so there's CRM suites and there's payment processors. Some of them are all rolled into one. So like people are bringing up QuickBooks. QuickBooks is really, really strong for a lot of things, and they actually integrate with TintWiz as well. But that's before TintWiz becomes gets payment processing integrated too. So you can definitely use QuickBooks alongside of it. So Zettel, wow, just keeps going back and forth. So Zettel is just like, this is just a way to take credit card transactions. That's all this is. But as far as what I've been told, card transactions, 1.75, which I thought they were like 2.5 at the time. But I guess they're only 1.75 now, which is really, really low. I was using PayPal here before that, and the money just literally goes from you or from PayPal. Like it's basically instantaneous. Like payouts are right away. I just wanted something that was a little bit more businessy, I guess. So I was just like looking at some options. I saw PayPal still had one called Zettel. The rate seemed pretty good, so I just tried this one. And yeah, it's been fine. I get money like next morning or something, or by end of day. So that's been good. There was another one. There's another question that I was trying to get to before I got distracted with that. That was... Oh, suggestions for brand names and logos. Logos, I have one specific logo designer in mind that I think everybody should use. Square is good. Yeah, check out their rates. Like you hear Square, Clover. There's one other one, Stripe. Like they're probably all pretty competitive. That was just the one that I stumbled into. Yeah, so logo designs, Iron Duck Designs. She gets too many window tinners. But she'll make everything unique from the ground up. Kind of tell her what you're looking for. And let me see if I can find... Oh, yeah, check out our services. No results found. I wonder if she's redoing this. Identity reboot, website design, so identity reboot. So she'll do... Wow, her site sucks right now. What the heck, Carrie? I'm just trying to find lots of pictures. I probably got to go to like Instagram or something. But yeah, these are a lot of logos that she's done, including mine, the Detroit Tint Studio one, the Tint Stuff one. Like she's done that. She's done so many for so many people. Oh yeah, here we go. So all these are just like the latest stuff that she's done. So if there's anything like in this scape that you kind of like, then reach out to her. She'll do an incredible job. Also, Fiverr is actually pretty good for like getting logos and stuff. So it's a way to find designers and whatnot. And you can kind of see like their portfolio and whatnot. But good tip is to kind of have a style in mind and then find that artist that has that style. Don't necessarily try and make a designer change their whole art style to like fit what you're looking for. Just try and figure out what kind of art style you really like. So if you admire somebody's work, then ask them if they do logos or something. So Carrie's been really good. A lot of people like her, including me. Oh, yeah. Actually, so Detroit Tint Studio and the Sun Distributing logo. Those are hers. And then also the Tint Keg logos. That's Carrie, too. Having somebody make me rear window Detroit Tint Studio vinyl, like 4x4 size. Ha! That's awesome. Very nice. I appreciate that. Sun Distributing is live. Oh, that's cool. I gotta make sure to send some people over there then. If you guys like this, then you'll like talking to Rick. Rick's owner of Sun Distributing. I worked with him for a number of years, and our styles are really, really similar, and he's been in the business way longer than me. So he's got some really unique perspectives on everything, and he's happy to talk to people. So very, very cool channel. If you're doing invoicing in QuickBooks, your CPA can go in at the end of the year and everything is already set. Expenses, income, and sales tax. That's a really good tip. I appreciate that. Yeah. I should probably start using QuickBooks then. Because it'll make stuff quick. Oh, and the other thing about... What am I trying to... What was the other one? Did... that logo... Oh, as far as names go, brand names, there's a couple of ways to go about this. You can go for a cool brand or a discoverable brand. They can both be the same thing, but so what's less appealing is always like the city that you're in or a local city that's a little bigger, and then like window tinting, right? But you can be so much more discoverable that way because that's what people are actually typing. You can still be found with your branding in your area, depending on how good like your SEO is, but when you're just trying to get started, that's not a bad approach to it. That's how a lot of my channel was actually made, was on just being found. Like it was called Tint Stuff. And a lot of my videos were just what people were looking for. So if you kind of gear your tint business in the same way, like have information on your site about like, about the differences between films, local state laws, lots of stuff. That's all well and good. Or an animal that doesn't lend itself to being found. No, and that approach is more, that's more brand, right? Like, I like this. I want to be called, like, you know, Eclipse was something that I would see a lot. Like, a lot of people, like, they name Eclipse window tinting. Well, I know you window tint, but I don't know where you are at all. So it's just, it's not going to make or break your business by any means, but it's just one thing that'll kind of give you a little bit harder of a start early on. But you can back it up with really discoverable stuff on like a website and just referrals. So like you can work through it pretty quickly, but if you're putting just your name out there in a bunch of places and like referrals, right? Well, mine's Detroit Tint Studio. So what do you know? You think I'm out of Detroit, in that general area. It's not amazing for here, to be honest, but what it does help is with everybody that watches the channel, they kind of go, oh, he's in here. I wonder how far away he is from me at that point. You at least know the state and general area that I'm in. So I wish it was a little bit more specific from that, but I'm in Sterling Heights. I didn't want to be Sterling Heights window tint, and with the channel, like it made it a little bit more broad that way, so hey. There's some cool with Detroit, though. Detroit, usually make branded dash towels, logo on dash towels. I had you could get a print-on-demand towel. Nobody ordered it, though. It'd be interesting. Sun Distributing, they're actually looking into a lot of towel options right now. Sun Distributing is actually really good for some of this stuff. All these like little unique things. I bring them up time and time again. because they're genuinely a really good, like, he stays on top of, like, this type of stuff. So check out Sun, like, they're looking into more. So if you want a dash towel right now, Sun Distributing, like, these ones are super good. They've got, I told him he needs to work on his pictures. Really good printing, but they're thin. It's 30 by 70, so it's extra wide, and it fits like that dash. 35 might be a little bit better, but it's like thin, high quality microfiber, so it tucks in really nice, doesn't take up a lot of space, and still soaks up a good amount of water. They also carry like the Soak Shield towels. These ones have been awesome. I've been using Soak Shield towels for a number of years. They also sell the Soak ropes, and then they have Tinter branded dash towels. So like unbranded dash, like they've got a whole bunch of options here for towels. So Soak ropes, they've got a bunch of these, two alongside it. So if you want to get like a mini, they've got a number of colors too. More than what's shown there. I hope he hears me. He needs to work on his pictures. Okay, let me just show you a little stark contrast here. Let me show you my site. Okay, pre-video banner. I've got so many pictures of just a green squeegee. Just saying. Okay, I need more Glass Aid pictures. But it's really easy to get an idea of what I'm looking at, what I'm using. And then when I go to Sun Distributing, this is where I think one of their biggest hangups is. All tools. They have pictures. They're just a little small. So like Tri-Edge X's, right? This is all I got to look at. Just saying. Gotta keep more. Do people in your country ask for plotted cut film? No. No, some shops will use it as a selling point, but one or the other, not really. Or an animal that doesn't lend itself to being found. Yeah, nobody's searching alligator and window tinting. Well, that's not, okay, that's not true now. That wasn't before. That's not what they were looking for before. But now, yes. I think the name is perfect. It pops. Thank you. I'm like, so when you talk to people about Detroit, they're always a little like, ooh, Detroit? Unless they know Detroit. So it's not the most flashy city to name your business after, but it does have a lot of rich automotive history. So it is cool, or it can be cool. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm going to shout out some super chats and I'm going to take off. And then everybody go to Sun Distributing. Did I still copy and paste that? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, God. I'm going to pull that up again. Hey, there he is. I didn't know he was doing this. Look, that's Rick. He's doing a keg build. Oh, that's different. So, this guy. All right. This one. So you guys see this? You guys see this cool thing right here? Boom. He's putting one of those together right now. He's going to wrap it, show you all the parts, everything. So if you want to know about him, check him out. Super interesting to watch something like this. So I'll tell you where he gets them, everything. With regards on how long you spent on tinting, do you suffer, what? with regards to how long you spent on tinting business, do you still suffer from dirt grains sticking into the film? Well, dirt's always going to be an issue that you have to like figure out, but when you refine your process a lot, no. So how long you spent on tinting? No, usually spending more time gives you like a cleaner result. So there's not a lot of like air time. So from the time where you tint, like you squeegee it and then put the film on, there's not a lot of time there. So no, that makes it a little bit better. He's not wrapping it. We'll tell him to wrap it. Tell him to do it. Just do it. I don't know why. Maybe he will. That's boring. Wrap it. No, I'm kidding. All right. Is there anything else? I think that was it. We still have triages coming soon. Have a good day. Yeah, everything's good with this. We'll have another live stream coming here soon, and stay tuned for that. But yeah, have a good one. I will catch you later. Go check out Rick. I'll go hang out in his chat, okay? So if you want to hang out with me, jump over there. How's that? All right. I gotta go. Bye.